Mr. Dana will be talking, Dana Chengan, Chairman of MACOSS. He'll be speaking about the past, the present, and the future of NGOs in Mauritius. I'm just going to give you a brief resume. Mr. Dana is the Chairman of MACOSS, which is an umbrella organization for the NGOs. Senior staff of the management team of ONL, Agri Limited, employed as a farm manager responsible for animal production division, MBA graduate from University of Surrey, and have a wide experience in administration, human resources, and project management. And finally, he's very committed to boost productivity in a spirit of teamwork toward the goodwill of the organization and institution. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Dana.
My presentation will be more informative, but I will try my best to make it as...
That's why you can use that one.
My presentation will be more informative and it's very important for you. But I will try my best to make it as interactive as possible. So, meaning that as and when you have anything which triggers you and you want to ask any question, please be free. And at the same time, please don't make it a problem. You can address in English, French, or Keynote, in whatever, because we'll have to make it in that. So, first of all, let me give you an idea of what I will talk about. First of all, I will talk about the definition of NGOs and MACOSS itself. What is MACOSS? And on the emergence of NGOs in Mauritius, and then I will talk on the evolution of the NGO sector, and on projects and activities done by the NGOs, on the legal framework, why is it important to have a legal framework for the NGOs, and recommendations on the way forward where I will rely more on you. First of all, let's be creative a little bit. I think I just put you in that picture. Imagine Mauritius itself and the structure of the socio-economic development in Mauritius, what it is. I think you have, just to give you an idea, you have the government, yes, you have the private sector, and you have the civil society. Okay? And each one has his responsibility. Who can tell me the responsibility of the government? Why is it here for?
Organized society.
Organized society, well,
For the welfare of the citizens.
taking care of the welfare of the people, establish policies, development policies, unfortunately that happens to be corrupted, which we cannot get away. Yeah. So meaning you have that structure, and this structure is very important, you know, it's this structure which can canalize the movement of the private sector by putting on policy, development policies, and at the same time to give a boost to the civil society for the welfare of the society. Meaning, and you know the private sector is more economical, meaning that they work for profit, they work for the development, so meaning the private sector has its responsibility. And now we have the civil society. What is the civil society? We form part of the civil society. We are the components of the civil society. We are people, we are citizens of Mauritius. We form part of the civil society. But what are our responsibilities? So, and that's why, you know, at a certain point in time, we've got NGOs. What are the roles and responsibilities of the NGOs? Meaning that in the civil society, we have organizations, we have structures, and we have NGOs. The NGOs are voluntary organizations which take care of the welfare of the people. So, it's a voluntary organization. Some people of us may form an organization and we take some responsibility. Meaning that alone, there are certain things which we cannot do alone. And in a structure, in a teamwork, meaning together, we can share ideas, when we can come up with projects, we can come up with ideas to help the society and to help us at the same time. Because I think it's very important that we form part of a structure. And I can tell you, that's why this is the work that we have been doing here at the YUVA Academy is doing a great job. It's marvelous what we're doing, and I think this is the steps that we're doing toward these kind of structures, and we have that responsibility if we want to have a comfortable place, if we want to create an environment where we want to be peaceful and to have everybody to take care of the welfare of the people. I think it should be through these kind of structures. So the NGOs, we call it, unfortunately, we call it, and I'm not happy with it, we call it non-governmental organization, but they are dedicated to a non-profit issue. Why not? What I that negativity? Non-profit, non-governmental organization, NGOs. Maybe it's time now, but unfortunately it's something which is being called upon everywhere, it's international, but it's time to change our NGOs to bring something more positive, because NGOs do so many positive actions, so many positive community work. It's time to think about it. And once you have it in mind, you know there's nothing which we cannot do. For example, we can write to the United Nations, we can even call them to think about that NGOs. We can even give some propositions. I can tell you it was far back, I was quite, let's say 10, 15 years back, there was not that teachers league. I can tell you with a group of people, and we have presented something to the UN, and afterwards again, I can tell you, and there was a lot of lobbying, and there was a lot of lobbying discussion, and that the teacher days in fact was introduced. So why not now changing that NGO into a more positive structure? There is nothing in the name. There is nothing in the name, but still I think it's good if we can, with that, we just talk about creativity, thinking more in a more re-engineering system, how to re-engineer, because the name by itself, can bring something more. And when we look at our NGOs, it's associations, youth clubs, sports clubs, non-profit companies. It can be trusts, including charitable trust, WAF trust, certain organizations established by our parliament. It can also be, for example, a company or a foundation. But it excludes some civil society organizations such as political parties. It excludes trade unions regulated by the industrial revolution. But still, in Mauritius, we cater for these trade unions and even some of the cooperatives, because we see that most of us, we do see the things when we take care of people. And yes, any question at this point in time? Do you agree with the non-governmental organization? Anything that you've heard about NGOs?
Please allow me.
Yes.
You say you must change the name of NGO.
I think so.
But what can be the name? What can be the name? I don't think because NGOs won't ever work like the government.
I'm asking.
Because government comes from political parties. So how come NGO? Because we do what the government doesn't do. Like us, for example, our NGO, Alpha, we just help children learn. So these children, they are still attending school. They should have been learning what we are teaching them from school. And this is government's duty. So we are really striving to get finance to be able to run our NGO, because the building we're renting is free, the teachers we have to pay, and recently we took the decision to close down. Close down the center, and unfortunately all these children will be penalized. So I went personally to talk to so many people, and thanks God, there is a few companies who agreed to help us. They came to visit our NGO, and I talked to some of the political leaders, but they wouldn't do anything for us. They think that school is doing its job, and it's not.
Okay. Okay, so because they use the message.
Yes. In fact, you're right. You're right. We do what the government maybe should do, but maybe it's not in that capacity to do, for example, to be at a community-based level, to work for the people. But at the same time, I think we need to think also that NGOs should exist. They have their place in the society. We are not only working for we are not doing what the government should not do. We can work as partners, and this is what we want. We have that independence to advocate when we have to advocate. We must have that right of independence, but at the same time, it's good that we start some kind of partnership. Partnership, I mean networking with the NGOs, networking with the institution, networking even with the government. Why not? Because I think we are working for the welfare of the people.
But the question is, how do we network? How do we collaborate? Where is the platform? Who is organizing it?
I think that, because I will come with that afterwards, because with the facilities that are being put to our discussion, I think I will come with
Absolutely.
how to network and how to capacitate our NGOs and how to capacitate the civil society so that they are in a better position to improve the society. And so meaning that we have legally, I think there is a legal framework, meaning that we cannot stand alone without a legal framework, meaning that we are recognized. Once it says we have a legal existence, meaning that the existence is recognized, so meaning that we should exist. So as you know, all NGOs have to be registered at the Registration Association, and you know that when we talk about volunteering in philanthropic work, meaning it's recognized worldwide. And what is MACOSS now? MACOSS is an umbrella organization, meaning a focal point for the NGOs. In MACOSS, where I am the chairman, we have 386 NGOs in MACOSS in the different sectors, meaning in the different thematic groups. We have NGOs working for human rights, we have NGOs working for health in the different health sectors. We have so many health problems. It depends on, for example, you have lupus, you have, for example, epilepsy, you have, for example, so many health of cancer in these different departments. But at the same time, we have also NGOs working for advocating for people with disabilities. We have different types of disabilities, and we have also NGOs working for human rights. So I will be able to fast just to cover the topic, and then I will come with more interaction. I think it's good if we can interact so that we can have a better clarification of the contexts of the NGO. So we are inactive. We also MACOSS we need to be registered, but ours is incorporated by an accord, and this is our mission. Capacity, work in collaboration with the different institutions, work in collaboration with, this is where the networking comes and where we can participate in the development of the country. And objectives, I don't need to go into the objectives because these are activities what we want to achieve in the society. We have a regional learning center. It's rare that in Mauritius we have now a regional learning center which belongs to the NGO. We tried hard to have it, and we have it, and we can tell you that it's at the disposition at very low cost. It's at the disposition emergence of the NGOs. It's good to understand the emergence of the NGOs. In fact, long before when it was still colonial, at that time, and there were a lot of poor people. There were a lot of problems. For example, there has been natural calamities, there has been problem of virus, malaria, cholera, etc. And at that time, there was some NGOs, some community-based organization, which has taken shape, meaning give some support to the people at that time. And we have some organization, for example, Red Cross at that time, CARE, St. John, MFDA, and Oyasaba, everything. And so meaning that all these organizations were there to support the people. And at the same time, there was also some funding agencies, international funding agencies at that time, UNDP, for example, and afterwards NGO Trust Fund, DCB, etc., to give some support to these organizations so that which can canalize their movement towards the people. Meaning, and at that time, and that's why at that time the fact that being an NGO, it was we call it at that time FONGOs, NGOs, family-oriented organization or business-oriented organization, because it was so easy, to send a project abroad or to convince an international funder to finance your project, or even to travel. There were people who were traveling on behalf of certain NGOs just to attend meeting. It was like. And fortunately, I can tell you, and there has been some evolution. Meaning afterwards, NGOs has been formed more focused. For example, someone in the family, you have a drug, someone addicted to drugs, or you have someone who has a health problem who is affected by lupus, or someone who is affected by. These people, they join together and they form NGOs. Sometimes, for example, in some area you have an environmental problem. Sometimes, for example, in your case, you are taking care of these children. So meaning, you are more focused according to problems of the society, and this is how NGOs has been formed. And these are the activities of the NGOs: capacity building, gender development, human rights committee. Just to give you an idea what we can do in NGOs in this kind of structure. Community development, policy and advocacy is very important that you're already involved. Young people in front of me here, academicians, it's important that we get involved already on policies and advocacies. Care for the disability and Black Days. We organize Black Days, but unfortunately there's a problem actually for the Black Days, and we develop some international relations because it's important that we can connect with what is being done elsewhere at the same time. And in that international dialogue, for example, here we have the international dialogue, we are linking with Beijing so that we can bring this development in Mauritius. These are projects that have been done by MACOSS in the past. We've worked on youth policies, on NGO policies, on NGO policies, and there was a project which we called the SNSM project, strengthening the NGO sector in Mauritius, to take care of what are the real needs of the NGOs. And I can tell you this is a paper which we have been working on. It's already 10 years back, but unfortunately, we have to rely on the government so that we put certain of these policies into practice. The work is concerned. Even in that project, we've taken care of the legal framework, which is very important, but unfortunately, it's somewhere in the drawer. On the previous project, there's not talk about that. In the past, we've been working on SDGs, and it's now time to take care of it was SDGs, now it's that is SDGs, Sustainable Development Goal, and you have 17 subjects of the SDGs. And it's important to know because we are citizens of this country, and if we want to improve the condition condition or living in that country, we want to improve that condition where we live. It's important to know what are the policies, what are the international policies, and where we want to go. These are on the more on the SDGs. This is what we have done since 2005-2008, and I can tell you that we are connected with international organizations such as, for example, MACOSS, International Council of Social Welfare Services, and even we have worked a lot with the TCP. Before the TCP coming to Mauritius, we worked for the introduction of the NGO cluster. These are structures that we have discussed a lot so that they can come to the support of our NGOs. And even for the legal framework, we work with the Law Reform Commission, with YUVA at that time, and with David Wu from ICNL, to take care of, consider what are the legal framework that are good outside, and what are the legal framework that we can introduce in Mauritius so that we can frame the NGO in such a way that it can be at a better service to the citizens. This is the project of the SNSM, and these are the output. I just told you about the corporate social responsibility. We have worked a lot on the corporate social responsibility before the government has introduced it in its policies. And here I can tell you that we must be proud, at least, that we have this kind of structure to support these NGOs, the NCS. Unfortunately, you have to reject if you want to take benefit of the support that we can have from the NCSR. We are also connected with civil society. And what's more important now is to look forward. For example, the major report on the situation of the NGO that we work, it's important that we take it again. Propose recommendation for the legal review. Because we are very outdated. We have in our constitution, in some of the NGOs, we have in our constitution some rules in the constitution which dated more than 40 years. Meaning that these need to be updated if we want to have a good structure of the NGOs in Mauritius. Review of MACOSS itself, the reorganization for MACOSS, we have to review because there are a lot of criticism against MACOSS. MACOSS, for example, today it's becoming as if a play game for some of the politicians or even for some people to pass about issues, meaning that this we cannot tolerate. If we are citizens of this country, we care about our country, I think there are certain things which we cannot tolerate, and the NGOs as well as MACOSS should be quite independent, should be able to advocate when it needs to be for advocacy, and when it needs to be to work in partnership, we need to develop this kind of action. And what's more important again, if we want to improve in that sector, it's important that we improve ourselves in thematic NGOs. Those organizations working in the health sector together, those working for disability together, those working for poverty alleviation together. So then it will be better for us to advocate when it comes to advocate for some thematic problems. And this is where I think your effort is, where you need to come with changes. And professionalizing the sector, because we have to keep pace for you. I think this is a sector, it's an economic sector at the same time, because we need professionals in this sector. Be for writing a project, be for monitoring a project. There are a lot of things that we need to do, and there are scope for employment in the NGO sector. So we need just to make it more professional. And I can tell you at the same time, the way we do advocacy also, it's very important. There are so many ways of doing advocacy against some issues or problems in this country, but we need to learn how to advocate, and this is very important. Because in advocacy, you try some ways and it doesn't work, we have to then step other ways. So there are a lot of ways of doing advocacy, and advocacy is very important if we want to improve conditions of living in this society, and if we want, for example, to have an inclusive society, a place for everyone in this society, and this is very important. So network, you asked me about the question of network. Network is very important. That's why when we have those thematic groups, so meaning then, for example, the health network, if we want to advocate, we can work with the Ministry of Health. We can work together in consultation to see what is missing and what is lacking behind. We have the gender network, disability network. So it's very, very important that we create these networks if we want to improve our service. And it's time now to look forward on what's coming on, for example, in this society. For example, we are talking about organic farming. We need NGOs, if you want, for example, work with people in vulnerable areas. We can still create some structure and to start organic farming. And why not economic empowerment? And that sharing of experience at the same time is very important. So these are the NGO development perspective, have to be used as an important force in the democratizing decision-making process. Also, you are the voice of the voiceless. To strengthen exchange and cooperation and facilitate people-to-people connectivity. This is a very exercise that we've done, and this is very important. We are all people and we need to connect. NGOs partners in social economy, I will talk about how to influence policy dialogue as a leverage mechanism and promoting integrated development and social responsibility. I think I'm reaching the end of the one. These are things, so maybe we can have a copy, I will share a copy with you. I have already the copy there. It's good that we have a copy so that. So this is thank you for your attention.
So one quick question maybe I will lady.
Thank you for that. Which was informative. And I just have two questions following your slide about recommendations for the way forward. One is how can we as people active in business and social sector promote social entrepreneurship? So your actual definition of NGO intimated that it has to be non-profit and voluntary. And we're experiencing problems with, well, not problems, but there's just no particular legal framework for organizations who want to be financially self-sustainable and not dependent just on voluntary donations and flag days, but they have more creative ways to generate a self-sustained income. So that's one. Is that envisioned in a new, right now we have companies limited by guarantee, maybe associations are not appropriate for that kind of work. So is there space for organizations to sell things or charge fees or do something like that?
So your question is how you sustain yourself financially?
Well, is there a legal framework and a recognition willing by the government and by MACOSS for those kinds of organizations?
All right.
That's one.
Yeah.
And secondly, just a question about that as well. I think the gentleman mentioned fundraising obviously is an issue for everyone.
Yeah.
Within the CSR framework, is it envisioned that we will go back to situations where the private sector can give directly to organizations that they themselves have vetted and deem worthy, as opposed to an obligatory pass-through by the government, which then makes it into not a non-governmental initiative again?
So let me just wrap up quickly the audience. The first one is, do we have a legal framework to sustain NGOs financially?
I think, yes, I got the board. Let me
Okay.
In fact, yes, you're perfectly right. Very interesting question and pertinent at the same time, Because I think, in fact, this is a trend going towards social entrepreneurship. Because we NGOs, we should be structures, organizations standing on our own, and at the same time empowering the people. For example, but unfortunately there is no legal framework which can encourage NGOs going towards social entrepreneurship. And this is where we need to advocate. When we have all the NGOs together, we need to present papers on advocacy on how we can have our NGOs moving, for example, to entrepreneurship. For example, when we talk about entrepreneurship, what is social entrepreneurship? Social entrepreneurship meaning that organizations working with the beneficiaries and developing projects. For example, we are doing, for example, organic farming. So we have the people employed in this kind of development. Where we can also negotiate, for example, with the private sector to have a plot of land where we can do social entrepreneurship. And then, for example, if we do for some kind of training, it can be, for example, plumber, it can be all these jobs that we can train with our beneficiaries in those vulnerable areas where we have people who are searching for jobs, and we have those people employed. So meaning this kind of entrepreneurship, and also there are a lot of things that we can do, but we need to be creative. So just creative. And legal framework is very, very important. I think it's time to take care of the legal framework.
So the legal framework is not in place at the moment?
We have a legal framework. We are all registered to a legal framework. It exists, but unfortunately it's outdated. And it should be updated to the actual trend on what we are doing. And this is very important. A pertinent question which every year we come with that, but unfortunately, there are some political decisions and...
So on the agenda will be legal framework to be reviewed and updated?
Yes.
And so that's the first part of your question.
However, as far as support is concerned, you talk about funding, and I can tell you we must be quite fortunate to have funding, for example, with the NCSR, the National CSR. It was a funding which came from the private sector, 2%, but it's still, it's young. Maybe it's quite young. It's 2 or 3 years. And again, we need to advocate so that we have a right structure to understand the work of the NGOs, to understand the needs of the society, and I think we can go on improving. And this will come. This should come and it will come. But we need to focus. And this is very important. Yes?
Thank you, Mr. Dana. To introduce myself, I'm University and working as research assistant at the University of Mauritius. So we'll be meeting very soon again concerning a project of NGOs. My question today is that I've seen the recommendations section about transparency and accountability. And I'm sure you know about the Oxfam Haiti scandal which took place this year itself. So my question is, are NGOs transparent to the public in terms of their funding and annual reporting? I've actually searched the internet and I found only the annual report of bills for last year.
Okay, so that's a very hot question.
Pertinent question at the same time. I can tell you that we are advocating with our NGOs so that we have we call it social level. But it's maybe when we talk about social level, it's a little hard. Then we came up with some self-assessment. It's important, because we are service organization, we are delivering service to the society, and it's important that we have a self-assessment. Self-assessment on the organization itself, on the different spectacles of the organization itself, by the way we report, by the way we do our activities, and also a self-assessment on the activities, on the project that we are working. So when you give that kind of report, that self-assessment by itself, you create trust in the society and you create trust with your funding agency. And this is very important for our stakeholders. And we are advocating for that. I think we need to come. It's time now to come with a system which enforce the self-assessment.
So it's being more transparent, I think?
Yes, it should.
So until now we don't have transparency. No, we do, I think, but it's more about updating it.
And it's more about putting a system that you report, that you report to your stakeholders, that you report, in a system which is self-assessment, doing by yourself. You don't need to search for someone to do it for you, because you are doing your project, you know the project, and you know the outline of the project, and you know what are the procedures in the project.
She's referring to how the public find out about how the funding has been spent wisely.
Yes, it covers all that. I think when we talk about reporting, I think this comes from reporting, but reporting is usually done by the funding agency. Once they finance a project, you have to give a report, evaluation report of the project and what's happening.
All right.
And reporting on all the expenses that you have.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Big round of applause for Mr. Dana.